Greetings and salutations, YouTube family and friends. T-Rav Vlogs here. What's up, guys? With Anime Getaway said and done, I thought I would do like I've done with the other conventions that I've been to this year, give my thoughts about the convention as a whole, give you some pros and cons and some information so you can decide whether or not it's something that you want to check out in the future. Let me start off by saying this is my third Anime Getaway that I've gone to. I went to the very first one where it was just a concept. They had come to St. Louis for the first time, didn't really know what to expect, and the response kind of overwhelmed them a little bit. It was 2 medium to small rooms set up, one for the dealer's room and one for panels. So many people converged in that one area, and it kind of surprised them. So the next year, they upped their game. They rented out the big exhibition hall and a huge ballroom so they could have room for panels and room for the dealer's room, which worked out just fine. Fast forward to this year, and I seemed to notice something. The numbers were a lot smaller, both for the attendees and for the vendors. The space was the same size, but it seemed a whole lot bigger because there weren't quite as many people there. Now, I do have a theory for this. The weekend before, there was a huge 3-day convention happening in the same area called ArtCon, which is almost a nationally wide-known science fiction convention, and I have a feeling that a lot of people and vendors spent their time, their efforts, and their funds to come to this convention. So, seeing as how a convention happened the very next weekend, I can understand why a few people probably said, well, I just spent enough money, I should probably sit this one out. Which, for Anime Getaway, is kind of a sad concept because I thought it was a great convention. Now, in all of my reviews, I've pretty much talked about con feel, or the vibe that this con has whenever people go to it. Anime Getaway has a really nice con feel, in my opinion. The camaraderie is definitely there. It's a smaller convention, so you're not overwhelmed by everything that's going on. The only bad thing is that because there's such limited space, you may have 2 things happening at once, and you have to decide which one you want to go to. But other than that, the smaller size really helps build stronger relationships because you keep running into the same people over and over again, which can be a good thing, or it can be a bad thing, depending on the type of people that you run into. I know I had a few instances of some overexcited fans that kind of got a little on the annoying side after they had been around me for so long. I won't go into detail, I'll just leave it at that. I don't want to dwell on the bad because honestly, for this convention, there wasn't that much bad that happened. For the most part, it was all good. So let's move on to the activities of the day. Looking at the schedule, we saw that the voice actresses that were there, both Trina Nishimura and Brina Palencia, their autograph sessions were pretty much first thing in the morning. It was Trina, then it was Brina not long after that. So we decided because we had business with the voice actresses, either getting autographs or giving them gifts, we'd go see them first. Of course, getting there early meant we got to be first in line both times. First up, we got to see Trina Nishimura, and let me tell you, she was an absolute sweetheart. She had nothing but smiles for the fans to give. She introduced herself. She asked everybody else what their name was so they could have a formal introduction. And she was really interested in why people were there, why they were fans of her. She was just really a nice person all around. And I didn't really know her that well before going to this convention, so it was a little different for me, but still, she made me feel very welcome, and I was glad I had the opportunity to meet her. So after a quick run in the dealer's room after it opened, we went back to the autograph area to see Brina Palencia. Again, first in line. This time I had a little more to do with the voice actress in question. Bob and Brandy brought her fudge because that's like her favorite thing ever, even though it's kind of like a guilty pleasure for her, I suppose. And Brandy had made me some bone-shaped cookies to give her as a gift, kind of in character, because she's one of the characters in the series that we all dressed up as. So, Bob and Brandy gave her the fudge. She said that they were wonderful and evil all at the same time, because she was more than likely going to get fat and wasn't going to have any more opportunities to get roles in series or what have you. And then I came along, trying to remain in character, for the majority of the time, keeping my accent, keeping the mannerisms and whatever, and I explained to her what I had for her. Brandy had rigged up a nice, personalized coffin for her, since Undertaker makes coffins. It's just a no-brainer, it all fits together there. Gave her a small coffin with the biscuits inside. Now I expected kind of the generic, "Oh, that's really sweet of you, thank you for your gift." Is that how Brina responded? No, it was not. Her eyes got bigger than saucers when I explained to her what the gift was. She asked for confirmation that that really was a thing that existed, and I told her, yes, if you open up the coffin, you will find those inside. She proceeded to respond with, "That is so dope!" And I kid you not, she nearly threw the chair aside that she was sitting in to swing around the table and come give us all hugs. I was not expecting that reaction from her, but I am so very glad that that was the response that we got. She was ecstatic to get this gift, and I was so happy that she got so excited because we gave her a gift. So from then on out, that pretty much set the tone of the convention. It was all about making people smile, which again harkens back to why we do this to begin with. I had a cauldron with me all day long that had these bone-shaped cookies in there. They were Earl Grey infused shortbread cookies. Those of you who work with me got the chance to taste some. Those at the convention, everybody seemed to love them, so good on you, Brandy. You did really well with these cookies. And it was so amazing that I got to interact with so many fans, so many people, and the smiles were just continuous. Either giving somebody one of the biscuits made them smile, or me acting as the goofy character made them laugh. It was such a great time. A younger girl came up to me saying that she was trying to dress like me. She was another Undertaker cosplayer, and she had a black coat on with a white wig. And I told her, I said, in character, that she reminded me of my younger self when I used to work as the Grim Reaper. And because she put so much thought into the costume, she deserved a biscuit. I think it made her day, because as I was leaving, I heard her tell her father, "Hey, look, Undertaker gave me a biscuit." So that made me feel good that it was able to make her day. Because was her costume the most elaborate? No. But she tried. And that's what cosplaying is about. She put effort into it. She put thought into the character. You deserve a treat for that. While eating at lunch at Denny's, we even came across a visitor from Germany who was a little bit confused about what we were doing, why we were there in costume and whatnot. So we explained to her what we were doing and what the whole point was, and she was completely ecstatic. She asked for a picture. We stood up, posed for her. She said she was immediately going to send the photo back to Germany and explain to them how nice we were and how wonderful we were. So our little cosplay group reached out as far as Germany. How cool is that? So for the rest of the day, we took in the convention. We got a good dose of that con feel, really. We went into the dealer's room some more, went to a few more panels. I think we did a cosplay props on a budget, and we went to Brina's concert and Q&A, and it was just a wonderful day. The positivity of this convention was just everywhere. It was so infectious. We even saw familiar faces in the form of the photographers that were there at Pence Productions. They were there at GFM back in May to take our photographs, and they were back at Anime Getaway to do it once again. So I'll leave a link for them down in the doobly-doo below so you guys can check them out. They're wonderful people. I've always had such a great time working with them. They're just a joy to work with. So definitely check them out. They're totally worth it. And if you go to conventions in the future, be on the lookout for them. They go to all kinds of St. Louis conventions. So I have a feeling you'll probably run into them if you're part of the local con scene. So would I recommend Anime Getaway to you guys? Definitely. This is a perfect convention, especially if you're just starting out in the convention scene and want to get a feel for what the conventions are like, but you're not really sure if you want to devote all the time, effort, and money into a large 3-day convention where tickets cost a bunch and you have to stay there for a prolonged period of time and spend all of your money. This is a 1-day con. It's very inexpensive. I think pre-reg cost me $11.24, and all I had to pay for after that was anything extra that I wanted the voice actresses to sign. Everybody got one free autograph. Anything in the dealer's room, and food. That's really all I had to pay for. So it's a very inexpensive con. The fan base is loyal, and the staff is really nice. There were a few instances where it seemed like the staff could have provided a little more guidance, but that's really no big deal. It didn't ruin the day. We had a wonderful time. So definitely check out Anime Getaway. It usually comes around St. Louis once a year. They're a traveling con, so they start off down south and work their way around. They usually stay in the Midwest for the most part, but they always seem to stop by St. Louis because, well, they enjoy us so much, and we really enjoy them. So that's really all I have to say about the con. So until next time, I'll talk to you soon, and take care. Bye-bye.